Good morning. Good morning. We are live. And I wanted to talk today about, first of all, the hustle and grind culture. The hustle and grind culture is leaving us with a lot of overwhelmed and overworked business owners, especially in the healthcare space. Especially in the healthcare space. And I can say that because, good morning. Thanks for joining. I can say that we're overworked and overwhelmed in the healthcare space because we constantly are picking up all these different shifts. It's kind of a part of our culture. If you work at a hospital, you're picking up all these different shifts. Even if you're working at homes and different things. I know when I was a caregiver, before I even owned my own agency, I was always working overtime. Always. It just was a part of the culture. And I think that transitioned over into my agency ownership and it left me burnt out. I scaled my business to 3.5 million in 2 years. I was very good at getting clients. I could get clients because I had a system, which I'm going to talk about a portion of that system today. I had this system that allowed me to get clients really quickly. And so I grew my business seemingly overnight. And like I stated, I reached 3.5 million really fast. But by the time I got there, I was so burnt out that I secretly resented the business. I secretly resented the business and I couldn't tell nobody because who can you tell that you scaled your business to 7 figures and you hate it? People be like, what, girl? I want those type of problems. And so I created this space where we can have those type of conversations and I can tell you how to scale your business without the burnout, because you deserve a business that you get to love as well as a life that you get to love. And you do not have to choose between the two. And I thought that I did. So it left me burnt out quickly. And now I'm happy to tell you how to do things differently. So today, homegirl to homegirl, we are going to talk about a piece to the puzzle that you need in your client acquisition system. First of all, you need to have a client acquisition system. Before we even talk about what you need inside of it, you need a system of how you get clients smoothly. And we're not talking about just randomly, falling into a client and you just pick up a client here and there, because that's going to leave you overwhelmed. If you're constantly chasing any client that has insurance or any client that can pay you, it's going to leave you overwhelmed, because instead of having a system in place that lets you do this painlessly and being able to predict this process, you're going to just be chasing any and everybody. And it's going to leave you exhausted financially as well as mentally. It's going to make you think your business isn't made to succeed. And I constantly get in front of people who think this. I constantly get in front of potential clients, potential mentees who think that their business isn't set up to succeed because they're struggling to get clients. And it's always almost the same thing. You aren't set up to get clients at large numbers because you don't have a client acquisition system. You don't have a strategy in place. So first of all, you need to know who your ideal client is. That's the first step. And the second step is having a client acquisition strategy in place so that once you identify that they're your potential client, you can bring them on smoothly. So in some of my other videos, I go deeper in that. And also, if you come to the Hangouts, the Homegirl Hangouts, 7 p.m. EST, every Sunday, you'll see I share a part of these different processes as well. But today, like I said, we're going to talk about a piece of your client acquisition system. You need to have a system where you have a client onboarding strategy. So it's not painful to you. It shows your potential client that you are more than capable of bringing them on. You're professional, you're organized, and you are not scratching your head and going through all these papers, trying to jot down notes about the client and different things like this. You have an automatic system that you just plug them into, and you constantly press play every time a potential client comes comes your way. So first of all, you need this system. You need a client onboarding system, a part of your client acquisition, so that this can just happen just like this. Once you get in front of your ideal client, you can just press play like I stated, and you'll be able to predict that you're going to get clients. It's not a guessing game. It's only a guessing game if you haven't done your homework as an agency owner to get in front of your ideal client. You should know how many ideal clients you're going to get in front of a month. You should already have done this homework. You should have a plan of how you're going to get in front of those clients, and you should have a plan of how you're going to bring those clients on once you get in front of them. This is predictable, and it make it painless, because you can have a day of the week on Wednesday that you go out and you get in front of your ideal client because you already know where they are. You already done your homework. You know exactly where to go to get these clients, to get in front of these clients, and then you have a system once you get in front of them that you can just plug them right into. And so once you start getting your system in place where you know I'm going to get in front of 10 people every Wednesday, you can start predicting how many clients you're going to get a month. That's what doing this homework ahead of time allows you to do. So your client onboarding system allows you to predict how many clients you're going to get in front of and how many clients you're going to get each week, each month, depending on how you break your system down. So this is going to allow you to automate your pre-screening process, knowing that they're your ideal clients so you're not wasting time. I know I talk to people who tell me that they pass out brochures at the grocery store, they pass out brochures at senior citizen homes and different things like that, but you don't even know if these people are your ideal clients. So you're wasting money. You're just passing it out to anybody at your grocery store who they may not even need your services, one, and then they may not even be somebody you can service. So you're wasting time and energy. You're doing it backwards, and that's why you're not growing. So this process helps people who are at the beginning of owning an agency so that they can predict how many clients they can get in front of, potential clients that they can get in front of, and how many they can bring on. That's the first portion. But then for people who have an established agency, you want to automate this process so it's painless. So you aren't running around, burning yourself out and overwhelmed with growth. I get it. Believe it or not, I get in front of people who are overwhelmed with growth. They have grew their business just like me. They grew their business to 7 figures, and it's burning them out because they're wearing all the hats. They don't have a process in place that allows them to predict who they're going to get in front of and how they're going to plug those clients in. So they don't know what players to have. They don't know who to have in place and where to have them. So they're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with growth. And that's exactly what happened to me. That's what gets you burnt out. So if you do this homework ahead of time, it'll allow you to know who you're going to get in front of, and once you get in front of them, what you're going to do. It makes you more confident. And also makes you look more professional to case managers, social workers. And they are going to want to do business with you because guess what? They have 100 of clients. They have hundreds of clients who they need to find a provider for, and they're trying to get it done quickly. So if they know that every time they get in front of you, you're organized, you have an automated system, it's not hard, it's not difficult, you just send them the contract or send them whatever they need, they're going to constantly do business with you. So that's how it becomes predictable, because you already have something in place that allows them to continue to come to you over and over and over again. So people, instead of you chasing one client at a time, you're going to establish your reputation as somebody professional and organized, and they're going to start coming to you. So it's going to make you confident, and it's also going to make the decision makers, whether that's a social worker, whether the individual has a guardian or a power of attorney, it's going to make the decision maker confident, and your service. It's going to make you confident. So it's going to make you pitch your services with a whole different tone about yourself because you know what you bring to the marketplace. You know that you have everything you need right there. You're not scrabbling papers, trying to figure out where your brochure at and all those different things because you have everything and you know you have it and you know what it does because you keep using the same strategy over and over and over again. And it's going to make it easier for you to convert people from being a potential client to being a client because you have all these things they need. So your ideal client strategy is like what you'll think of as a dating profile. So your ideal client strategy has nothing to do with the people on the outside. It has to do with you, who you're looking for. Who do you want your agency to service? It has everything to do with you and nothing to do with the outside people. And a lot of people get this wrong. They think their ideal client is anybody who their agency can service just because they have insurance, just because they can pay. And you're going to get in front of the wrong clients and you're not going to convert and it's going to leave you burnt out if you do not know who your ideal client is ahead of time. So your ideal client is like your dating profile. It's who you want to attract. And then your client acquisition strategy is once you get in front of that person, how you're going to bring them in, how you're going to court them, how you're going to date them, if we're using the same analogy as the dating profile. So one is you, what you're looking for, who you want your agency to be known for servicing, who you want to draw in into your network. And the second portion is once you bring them in, how are you going to keep them? And that also helps with retention. When you already have this system in place, it's going to help you get clients. It's going to help you keep clients. It's going to help social workers and case managers have confidence in you as an agency owner. It's going to make it easier for you to bring people into your network because you're just pressing play, and then you're not going to be all stressed out about growth. Isn't that crazy that you can grow and not have the systems in place that it can make you resent your growth? I made it to 3.5 million and hated the business that I had grew because I could get clients in my sleep, but I didn't have the systems and the processes in place to be able to bring those clients in smoothly. So I developed this system where I break down everything down and I give it to agency owners so that they don't get burnt out in the process. Because as I stated, you deserve a business that's sustainable. You deserve a business that you love, but not at the sacrifice of you, not at the sacrifice of a life you love. You get to do both. So I hope this helped you understand what you need for your onboarding system and why it's going to be a benefit to any agency that's attempting to grow, attempting to scale. You need this in place so that you can bring clients on quickly, professionally, and so that you can make a name for yourself in the marketplace and you're not becoming overwhelmed. Okay, I'm going to give you a checklist of what you need exactly in your onboarding system to make this easier. All you have to do is submit your email address. You can comment it below here, or when I post that post tomorrow and I'm telling you about what you need, you can comment under there your email address and I will get this to you. Homegirl to homegirl, you deserve a business that serves you. Enjoy your weekend.